gains that confidence, plays a few good events, stops looking inwards into his own insecurities.
I like the no expectation part, so like that's something that has gotten better because sure, it's like not my full-time job.
It's definitely good for chess in India, and now there is Olympiad also, so there'll be more people following and taking up chess as professional sport.
Yeah.
And it's surprisingly concrete still, no? Like e takes d4, good move, because d takes d4, then d takes d5.
This line was essential and forced, but also not rocket science to map out.
Hello everyone, I'm Grandmaster Pragyananda. Do you want to use my games to improve your chess? Now you can do. We have handpicked 50 puzzles from my games played in Champions Chess Tour this season.
I went bishop c5, d4 and queen e4. Yeah, another crucial win for the qualifications to top 8.
You can download it for free just by going to chess24.com/puzzlepack. Enjoy solving.
Time to take control of your journey towards chess mastery. Magnus Carlsen introduces Chessable, the definitive solution for studying chess. Move Trainer uses the science of spaced repetition to identify your strengths and eliminate your weaknesses. There's no need to set up a board, remember which page you're on, or keep track of all the moves you miss. Move Trainer empowers you to go from the opening to the end game with confidence. It's a seamless, effective, and fun way to study chess. Choose from one of the largest online chess libraries in the world, with hundreds of titles ranging from classic books through to our exclusive Chessable courses, including over 100 free courses. Get expert insights from International Master John Bartholomew, Grandmaster Sam Shankland, International Master Christoph Sulecki, Grandmaster Simon Williams, World Champion Magnus Carlsen, and hundreds of other instructors. Get started now and join our growing community of over 100,000 chess enthusiasts at chessable.com. Chessable, take control of your journey towards chess mastery.
He played the Berlin, which I sort of expected, but I didn't really know what to do against, because in reality very few people do.
When we are playing an even game against someone of similar strength,
To us, usually we need to give something in order to obtain the initiative.
Just how shrewd and cunning Alireza can be, even with very little time.
I want to show you a game just to prove that I play these lines that I played against former world number 2 and a bit of a superstar, Gata Kamsky.
First of all, I think white goes queen f4. Here the move is still queen f5, right?
You are following my games, you will see I play a lot of games.
Finally, guys, so much work for just one pawn. And so much happiness. Gains that confidence, plays a few good events, stops looking inwards into his own insecurities.
I like the no expectation part, so like that's something that has gotten better because sure, it's like not my full-time job.
It's definitely good for chess in India, and now there is Olympiad also, so there'll be more people following and taking up chess as professional sport.
Yeah.
And it's surprisingly concrete still, no? Like, e takes d4, good move, this d takes d4, this d takes d5.
This line was essential and forced, but also not rocket science to map out.
Hello everyone, I'm Grandmaster Pragyananda. Do you want to use my games to improve your chess? Now you can do. We have handpicked 50 puzzles from my games played in Champions Chess Tour this season.
I went bishop c5, d4 and queen e4. Yeah, another crucial win for the qualifications to top 8.
You can download it for free just by going to chess24.com/puzzlepack. Enjoy solving.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Welcome to this Challenge Chess Tour, to the Final Four. I'm extremely happy to be here and to join the one and only Judit Polgar. How are you, Judit?
Hi, I would like to welcome everybody, and it's great to be here with you again to commentate this event.
Right, so 4 players fighting for the victory and fighting for that match in Israel versus Pragyananda. Judit, what do you think? Who's going to win this Final Four?
Well, what I see that if we look at the rating points, then of course Esipenko is clearly the favorite. But of course, we are seeing blitz games. We are talking about very young talents, and which means that anything can happen. And I'm absolutely sure that all 4 players are extremely motivated, because of course the youngsters, they always like to win. What else? And this is the next step always for them, the next game, the next match, the next tournament. So I'm pretty sure that all of them are extremely excited to go and play the finals in Tel Aviv in December.
Exactly. So we have 4 players: Esipenko, Pranav, Samunenkov, extremely young, and Sadwani from India as well. And the first semifinal will be Esipenko versus Pranav. Let's talk about the format a little bit. So we have 4 games with a time control of 5 minutes plus 3 seconds increment of each move. And then we have an Armageddon in case of a tie.
So we were talking about Samonenkov, Judith. He's only 13 years old.
Yes, and I can say that when he was just 10 years old, he was visiting the Global Chess Festival, which I'm organizing annually. And that year, we were organizing an international European talent event under 12 years old. And he was one of the participants out of the players from 11 countries. And actually, not only a participant, but he was the winner at the end of the that tournament, and it seems like he's one of the talents who are increasing with time, and we can see that he's just 13 and his rating is, I think, somehow over 2500. No, nearly.
Amazing.
He's 2473 rating points, his
Okay.
classical rating, which means that he's progressing pretty well. But of course, we'll see in the next few years how fast is he going to be improving his knowledge and understanding about chess.
Exactly. So just a big hello to everybody out there in the chat. I see already some comments. So you guys, you can ask Judith or me, whatever you want. So we'll be reading all of your questions. So Judith, before we start, can you tell us something? Can you tell us a little bit more about your festival? What did you do there this year?
Well, this year was the 8th year that we did the Global Chess Festival. It's mainly about a day where everybody from age 4 to 120 can enjoy. It's a family event, we can also say, but it's much more than that, I think, because here at the Hungarian National Gallery, where we had it this year as well, we show the diversity what chess can offer to the society, to chess in education. This year we had the focus on women in chess, women in science. And during the day, we have a lot of activities which can be very memorable and inspirational for kids, for teachers, for visitors, families, parents, coaches, possible institute leaders who wants to make their decisions whether how to include chess in their daily activities in schools or cultural centers. So this is the feedback I got, that it's very inspirational festival. And I hope you can come and join one day also, because many people did already.
Looks like actually like a nice combination of holidays and chess event, you know? Budapest
But actually
is one of my
this
favorite
year,
cities.
what was also something very special, we organized for the second time the event of the, we'll get back to this because it's a fast blitz game.
We have a game already started with Rui Lopez, Judith.
Well, I played this many times with white, of course.
Now rookie one, the main line. So B5,
let's see what will be the...
Okay, so for the Marshall.
Not Marshall, because H3 is trying to avoid it.
Exactly. So guys, remember after C3, D5, we are entering in the Marshall Gambit, where black sacrifices a pawn, but in return, black has a lot of activity against the white king, right?
Well, it's for players who like initiative and don't mind to memorize a lot of lines, I must say. But this game seems to go to a different direction. Isn't this the Smyslov? I think with H6 it's called. Well,
I'm not sure, but
these structures are, of course, very for a long game, because bishop D7.
This is why people recommend to all beginners to start with the Rui Lopez, right? Because you have a lot of pieces, like you have a lot of plans, it's very flexible, and then you can learn a lot, actually.
Yes, and you have to learn a lot, I must say, to understand how to place your pieces when all the pieces are on the board, and it can happen very frequently that you have reached already move 25, 30, 35 even, and no pieces have been exchanged because it's a closed position many times. But in this game, we'll see how close it will be, or A takes B5 will be happening one day. Knight E3 is sometimes, and it's on the board. Of course, when the bishop is on D7, the pawn can be defended by rook B8 easily. Which should be the move, I believe, because the black knight on C6 cannot move to A5 because the E5 will be hanging.
And then you want to bring this knight at some point to C2 and E3, or black took on D4?
Well, it's usually not very good to give up the center so early. Of course, C takes D4 without even considering anything else, please.
Right.
Knight B4, black C5 wants to go, but of course, white's first intention, E5. This is the big
E5.
question.
I guess you have to bring the knight to d5 or?
Yes, exactly. So maybe e5 is early. d5 can be considered also. But what about bishop d2? No, white is trying to exchange the b4 knight with knight c2.
Knight c2. I guess black has to take.
Yeah, actually, it can be a nice idea. Taking on c2, bishop c2, and then e5 can come as a storm.
E5, then you have this queen d3 ideas in order to
To
set
be
up
honest,
this machinery.
I'm not very much happy with the bishop on d7 for black. Usually on b7, it can stand much better, much more powerful, especially after e5. But let's see, maybe d5 should be the move here.
E5, and after e5,
Knight
sometimes
e4,
you even
giving
sacrifice. Right.
Giving up the pawn, but that was not the move, bishop f8. But we shouldn't forget it's a blitz game. Black is under 4 minutes. White is playing extremely fast.
Right, and I guess this is a very nice defensive move because after e5, knight d5, let's say queen d3, you can always play g6, and then the h6 pawn is protected, right?
Yes, on bishop on f8 is excellently placed. This is why rook e8 was played before. So it's a double action. First of all, bishop on f8 protects everything, as you said, and the e file is open for the rook. And
that's right. So can I try Judit to go queen d3 straight away? So I don't commit myself by playing e5, and then actually e5 is a threat now. So basically you have to go g6. But
there
anyway,
was
it's
no
not
other move.
Right.
So we have to say that Pranav, who is playing with the white pieces, he's just 16 years old, if I'm correct.
Exactly, from 2006.
Yes, he's 16 years old, and he made a very convincing victory in the previous tournament by dropping only 2 draws out of 15 and not losing a single game. So that's why he's playing here in the semifinal. And he looks... his position looks pretty good, though it looks maybe more tempting for white and looks better for our eyes than it is. But still, of course, I would be happy to play it with white, playing bishop f4, queen d2 back, even bishop d2. Okay, so he's not aiming to attack the h6, but maybe he wants to go bishop c3, for example. Controlling that diagonal is also quite useful.
Right. I like somehow this move, a strange looking move, bishop a5 and rook c1 or something like that, in order to go after the c7 pawn. But I know it's not so
interesting idea. But first, I would rather go on the king's side. But maybe that's a matter of style also.
Yeah, and too boring, Judith. I never attack. That's one of my problems. I'm zero creative, so I have to check your games. Yeah. No. Trust me. I just see a pawn and then I just go after the pawn and not the king.
Well, sometimes pawn is more than the going after the king. Sometimes it's wiser.
Right, that's right.
So b takes a4. Interesting solution.
What's going to happen after this? After bishop takes a4 with the a6 pawn? Looks like a little bit weak.
Queen d7.
Queen d7, and then I can never take because of the e4 pawn,
e4.
right?
Actually, I'm not happy that white had to exchange the pawns, the pawn and the bishop.
Maybe after queen d7, can I go b3? My idea is to go d5.
Queen b5. I would consider queen b5 also playing active with black.
Right. I just need a couple of tempi, but I'm not on time just to play d5, knight d4, and then try to use the c6 square.
Now it's a question what black is thinking. Is he thinking about d5 possibly?
Right.
That's what he was thinking.
d5 looks very nice because after e5 just play knight e4 and then you have this c5 breaks.
But don't forget that the a6 pawn is under attack still.
You are right. So knight e4, and then what do we do with this pawn?
Bishop a5 is something to consider, I think, and after queen goes to d7. No, rook a6. Rook a6.
Just took it.
He doesn't want to talk about anything like that. Just grab the pawn. Takes c5.
Takes c5.
Black has to look for counter chances and activity. No, c5 immediately.
Straight away. What happens if I just play, just for the material? Just take it on a8 and then play bishop c3 there. So just reinforcing everything.
You really want to stick to your pawn up, that I see.
That's right.
And defend the b2 just in case, protect the d4.
Yeah, and then try to go knight d2 or something like that.
It makes a lot of sense. I agree. But you also have to consider maybe rook a8 and d takes c5.
Mm-hmm.
No,
rook a1 was played, forcing the issue. Now I guess black has to take on a6, or maybe rook b8 or something. This took.
Rook takes, cd4.
Queen c8, attacking the rook. Well, so the worst thing that can happen to Pranav is to lose the pawn, and then the position should be around equal. So definitely, I guess Pranav is putting pressure here.
Yes, but I'm not sure that black has not enough compensation with the knight on e4 and the great center with having his pawns on c5, d5.
Right.
He has several options. Queen
can I consider c takes d4?
Yeah, cd4 was the first move I was considering. Queen d4 not possible to bishop c5.
Yeah, and then you take with the knight, the pawn
considered. Maybe it can be considered. Queen d4, bishop c5, queen d5, bishop f2,
right.
King f1.
King f1. No, rook c1 has been played. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Covering the c5 square and then I'm intending to trade with the queen, right?
I like rook c1 a lot because now queen d4 is possible. And bishop c5 is not possible. If white can go
b4 in the next move.
Yeah, but then knight d2. So black is trying. Right. No, but bishop e3. Why not?
You want to go bishop e3 right now, but then queen b2?
Queen d5?
Queen d5, that's right.
And if you go knight f2, rook c7.
Yeah, bishop e3 has been played. He's consolidating somehow.
Very beautiful position for white.
Yeah,
maybe black has to go queen d7 or something and trying to play rook b4 next.
Rook d7, rook b4. And after queen d7, can I go
rook d1?
Rook d1.
Yeah,
right.
Rook d1 can be strong.
So I'm threatening queen d5 and then queen e4. So
well, black is in trouble and he's behind in time as well.
Right, only 1 minute 20 seconds for Esipenko. Pranav playing super strongly. And I don't know, Judit. I cannot say a good move here now for black.
Queen a8.
Queen a8. Bishop g7 is being played.
Well, he can forget about even the plans of playing bishop c5. Now b4 is possible. What do you think?
b4, queen takes b4, then you have some rook c8 or something?
Oh, I just wanted to go queen d5.
Queen d5. That's right.
King h2. I'm not sure I'm liking this that much.
Yeah. With the pawn on e5, it's always scary. I don't know, to have the king on h2.
Yes, on h2, it's some psychological idea. Probably we are experienced that something can happen at one point.
Right.
Playing
exactly.
e5 or something which you don't want to see.
So rook e8, you know, and now he's putting more pressure against the e5 pawn.
But okay, no problem. b4, start pushing the b pawn.
Right. So rook d1, rook d8, protecting d5. And now b4, as you said, maybe. Just pushing.
Well, it can be a start.
Can I go? Okay, yeah, queen b6, that was gonna be my suggestion.
I also thought about that to try to force it, but okay, black will go queen e7.
e7, then more pressure against e5. Maybe you have to go back. No, queen d7.
But in this case, the queen b6 was an excellent move. What about going king g1?
Yeah. I would love to have this king back on g1. I don't want any trouble.
I can also consider to play g3 and king g2, you know?
Yeah. I like that square for the king.
He's going to go
rook c1. He doesn't care. He is going after the c7 square. Makes a lot of sense.
But it's very important that at some point d4 will not be possible.
Queen c6. Now what's going on here? I'm just well, I cannot take the e5 pawn at the end of the day because I have some rook c8 and then bishop d4. So queen takes.
That's a nice trick. And let's see, Esipenko has under 30 seconds. He has only 20 seconds. Problems on the board.
Time trouble. And now with the bishop on d4.
Bishop d4 next. Rook b6 in the next move. That's a possibility to blunder if rook b4, rook b6. g5.
G5, rook C7.
E6
Maybe
can
E6.
be at one point. For example, now it's a serious threat, so that's why bishop F8. My problem is that the B2 passed pawn, how it will progress. Can
Right.
you tell me that?
He had a chance at some point to push B4, but now it's going to be extremely tough, yeah?
I think it's time to play G3, King G2, possibly Knight H2, Knight G4.
Bring the king to the action.
King G1 he went. King G1.
Finally.
But
Finally
why King
back.
G1?
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense here. Now
Let's
H5.
go G4. Let's go G4.
Yeah, G4 makes sense.
And it's on the board. But
Right.
actually he could go G4 immediately without King G1.
Yes, because the king is better on G2. But how do we make progress here with the white pieces? Can I go rook D7?
D7.
Just going.
To start
just
with,
going-
I think rook D7 and E6 next.
Yeah. So rook B5,
After
E6
rook-
is a super strong move.
But rook B3 is on the board. King
King G2, I guess. And now E6. Boom.
Ooh,
There we go.
8 seconds for black only and the lost position. But still, good technique is needed because King F8, Knight D4, Rook B6.
I even prefer maybe Knight D4 straight away in order to go E7 instead of E takes F7.
Ah, but then Knight F6 maybe. It's
All right.
possible, but okay, maybe B4 now and B5.
B4, B5. Knight D6.
Well, of course, Rook
Knight
D5 is
D6.
also tempting. But I would rather play B4 and B5.
Yeah, you
But-
can never capture this pawn because of Knight E6.
Knight F3. Oops. Knight E5.
Knight E5, and then you're threatening Knight G6 and Rook F2 check.
Yeah, Rook F2, King G1, and Rook D8.
Yeah.
Wow,
Rook F6.
what a nice way of winning. But it's not winning yet because Rook D8, King E7, Rook E8, King D6, trying to sacrifice the exchange.
Right, and then you capture this knight on E5, and it's never easy. So he took on D5.
Wow.
Should be winning somehow, yeah. Now
Nice
Rook
move.
D8,
Rook D8.
and Rook G8 is a threat.
But my question is this a win? Taking on F7 and Knight F6. I'm
I
not
guess
sure
they
it's a win.
I guess they should be winning somehow. I need to bring the king.
But the somehow is the question.
Yeah, the somehow is the question. I completely agree.
Wow, this would be an amazing saving. Amazing saving.
But can I go Rook E4 and then try to bring the king?
Well, that's the only chance. I'm not
That's the
sure
only
why
way.
black was not keeping his knight on F6.
Right. But then, anyway, I can put the rook on D4 maybe and then bring the king around or not.
Well, this is still going to be a serious challenge for white to win, only with 22
D5.
seconds
Knight
versus
H6.
16 seconds.
Nice resource. Now,
Check, but he
king
could go
E5.
check on F7.
I guess king E5, yeah? Now,
But
rook
how
A4
do
or
you win?
something. It's crazy, yeah? It's nice fortress with the knight on H6.
Wow.
They're playing super fast now. Accumulating some
have a
seconds in the
choice,
clock.
but how to win with white?
Yeah. Let me think.
Oh,
King E7. He wants to bring the king to F8. And then what?
and then what?
No. Opposition,
No,
yeah?
that's, oops. Now
King E7, rook F5.
Rook F5. Now rook F5.
Rook F5, knight D6.
King E7.
Anyway, yeah, beautiful.
Wow.
He saw it, yeah.
But I'm not sure it was anything if you allow King F8.
Well, King F8, and then you have to go King H7 or something.
And
nothing happens there? Yeah, I have Rook A7.
what a
and King
beautiful
D6.
play by Pranav, and also a great defense until a certain point by Esipenko.
Yeah, now he has to resign. Wow, Pranav starts
Wow.
winning this semifinal.
Nice game. Very
nice
convincing game by Pranav.
Yeah, he started putting pressure from the beginning. He won this pawn.
Can you go back just for us to look until the next game starts?
Sure.
Just go back for a few moves here. Yeah. And
For
here,
example,
King
King
G6.
G6.
King G6.
King F8.
King H7.
King H7. And good question. What happens here? I guess nothing happens. Yeah? At least I don't
This
see
is
a way.
exactly why I'm saying the end games are so important. That's why I'm making my Chessable course, you see. Master your chess with me. By the way, it's a Halloween sales now on Chessable.
You guys know that now you can get Judith's
some of your courses also.
I have one about the Philidor defense lifetime repertoire, but I don't know if it's now with an offer or something.
So everything is on offer.
Everything.
Everything is on offer. So if you want to get anything, this is the time. So what is this?
I guess if I play rook a5 and then you capture g4, it's a dead draw because the knight is...
Well, besides that, I can go king g6 if I want.
That's right. That's right. So if I go check, you go king g6 and nothing happens. Rook g7, king f6, and my opponent g4 is hanging. So I think there's nothing you can do here with white. I mean, I never saw this fortress with a knight on h6. It's so
but it's
strange.
Always a question, and my question is also goes for also knight on f6. It's my question.
With a knight on I even prefer the knight on h6 because with the knight on f6, okay, let's try to understand this endgame a little bit. So let's say, well, I'm just gonna bring the knight to f6 somehow.
But just to make sure that on your screen you're scrolling down, that we see when the next game starts.
Yeah, I have it here.
Yeah, okay.
No problem, guys. I'm paying attention.
No, because this is a lot of interesting things in this endgame.
So can I go something like rook c4 and then bring the king around? But it looks like too long, yeah?
I don't know where you want to bring. Well, in this position, rook a5.
Ah, yeah, rook a5. That's
now
right.
Rook
so
a5, and after knight h7, rook a7, rook g7.
Yeah, but then
you have to keep your king on the right place.
Something like this, yeah?
I see now the players are getting ready already.
Okay. So maybe this game
let's
is about
have
to
on
start.
the board because they are very much in the spirit of continuing the game, I see.
Yeah, so Sipenko needs a comeback, and then he starts with e4, e5. We'll see another Rui Lopez or Italian opening.
But you can see on Pranav's face, he's extremely focused and concentrated, and he's so motivated. Actually, he looks older to me. He looks a mature youngster.
Yeah, he looks like a 30 years old guy. Very mature, very serious. I'm the one looking 16.
Very.
G6. I like this line, you know, a lot to play for the win with the black pieces. So the idea is to go after c3, g5.
Wow.
So a4 is the line that the engine are recommending these days.
So after a4, then why don't you play g5 anyway?
Somehow the engine is saying that g5 is a terrible move against a4. Don't ask me why, because it's really tough for me to understand. But everybody goes g6 after a4.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It would be sometimes so good to understand what is going on the chessboard.
Right. Sometimes we just prepare with the engine, you know, and then you don't pay attention, and then you don't understand why you're playing these moves or that moves. But the problem is sometimes we don't have time to understand, right? When you're preparing for a game in a tournament, you just have 2 hours, and then you check the lines, and it's a common mistake.
So basically, White was pushing his pawn to a5 to gain space.
Right.
And the question is at some point whether Black will have enough time to play king h8 or king h7, knight goes back, and f5.
Yeah, I like this plan a lot. I don't know about this knight on c3. I usually prefer to have this possibility to push in the center, because now the plan looks very natural. King h7, knight somewhere and then f5, and then you have to react somehow in the center, maybe with some d4. So for example, if I remove the knight now, d4 is an option or not?
Well, it's definitely something you have to consider immediately. And it's on the board.
And there we go.
And look how fast Esipenko is playing.
Yeah.
He's really blitzing out. He knows it very well, probably.
5 minutes, not even 1 second. He spent.
Well, he did some because they
Well,
get
he did.
3 seconds per move, right?
Exactly,
But still,
exactly.
it means that he feels very comfortable. He's very much in his home prep, I guess. Knight f5 is possible here.
Beautiful move, using the fact that this knight is hanging after gf. I guess then it's a super move, knight f5, but he didn't go for knight f5. Instead, bishop f1. Maybe the idea is to go g3 and bishop g2, and then rook e8.
Well, it always looks good on rook on e8, especially when the knight is on f6, right?
Right.
Maybe one day it will go back also, or who knows?
Yeah, but I'm worried somehow about the lack of space for black, you know? Knight f6, I can even play f3. I know that my dark squares are a little bit weak after f3, but I think white has a lot of space in those positions. If I can break somehow with d5 or f5, I will take white.
Well, but now the question is how white wants to improve his position. Because
I still like, can I still play your move?
I think
Knight
you
f5?
cannot because of bishop c3 and rook e4 already.
Okay, and then this pawn on h6. No, I cannot take it, right?
I don't know,
Knight
the
h6.
knight can be somehow out of.
So we are analyzing this variation, takes here, and then I was thinking about this move, but then maybe rook e3.
Rook e3, even rook e3.
Right.
Exactly.
Rook e3. So maybe not possible anymore, this knight f5.
If white is playing g3, continuing his plan of playing bishop to g2.
Yeah, I like this move. Knight takes e6 was played by Esipenko.
Interesting decision.
Yeah, if you take with the pawn, then the a6 pawn is all the time under attack.
Then the a4, a5 was very useful at this point.
Right.
So I would rather take with the bishop, but he took with the pawn.
Am I threatening to go bishop c3 and rook e4? I know that I never want to give up this bishop on g7.
Unless you want to give it up because you want to take a pawn.
Exactly. Okay, but white didn't allow bishop c3, so bishop d4 offering the trade.
Okay, so takes and queen g5 or immediately queen g5.
Looking for some counterplay here after some knight f4. The bishop is targeting the h3 pawn. Queen b8. He wants to activate the queen along the b file. Maybe some queen b4.
It always makes a lot of sense, but I'm not sure that I like it in this position. Generally, I like this idea in different kind of positions, in King's Indian, here, but I don't know.
Queen d8 back. Okay, he realized that maybe it was not the best plan. Now he wants to bring the queen to g5, but for sure this has been, I mean, not the best idea, right? Just to go queen b8, queen d8, and then give up free tempo.
Yeah, it seems that maybe it was not so smart after all.
But anyway, the queen arrived finally to g5.
And you see, this is a very important thing to do in chess. You make a mistake, you're not happy with it, just admit it and go back.
Right. But psychologically, that's very tough.
It's very difficult.
So b4, stopping c5 ideas.
Well, strategically, white has a huge game with this a6 weakness for black.
Right. The rook is tied the whole game to that pawn. This bishop here looks like very shy, but it's targeting all the time the a6 pawn.
What is the idea of bishop e6? Is it against bishop c4? Or
Maybe he just needs to make a move. He didn't know what to do. It's not easy.
Or he wants to be pushing c5 at one day.
Right. And then there's no X-rays against this bishop on d7. Now g3 is being played.
So what about bishop d4, queen d4, c5? White has to take, d takes c, and then have a rook on the d file.
Yeah, and then you... Which rook? The e rook or the a rook?
It depends. Well, most likely with the e, because I have to guard my pawn on a6.
You can try to bring the a rook and then place on c4 or something, because the bishop is still on e6, protecting this guy. So I guess if you don't react with the black pieces, somehow, can I try to push f4 at some point? So bishop g2 and f4. Okay, but now direct threat against b4 pawn. Rook b1.
Somehow I don't feel a coherent game playing by black. Going here and there and going here and back.
Right.
Maybe now to play bishop d4 and c5? Maybe it's about time.
Makes a lot of sense now. Because of no, rook d8 back.
It's his way of playing. Rook b8 and then back. Queen b8 and back.
But now maybe he's threatening c5. Now c5 looks very strong.
But tell me, what's the point? Why is it better for black to have the white rook on b1?
No, it's not better. He just realized that, yeah, that it was a mistake, and that's it.
Okay, it's a blitz game after all. I shouldn't.
Yeah. So now c5 is a super strong threat, right? I guess you have to do something about it.
Well, I don't know. It's just forcing the white bishop to exchange, right?
But then I can always take with the queen if you take back. That's what I mean.
Yeah, and maybe the idea is to have the rook on b1, is that if you go b5, then a b5, and then the rook would be standing better on a1.
But that's super deep.
Very deep, and I'm not sure it sounds, but it has a nice idea if he had this idea.
That's right. That's very deep to be true, in my opinion.
Queen d4. I also think that it's too deep, and it's not the idea which can be proved that scientifically it's a good plan, and it was better for black to force white rook to go to b1.
Right. So c5, can I go for c5 takes? I guess I still have this square on a4, on e5 as well.
Well, I'm afraid that black will have to suffer a lot, but now it's interesting that how white is going to be continuing, because now knight d5 is not possible yet, which is important.
Right.
Because of takes and knight f5, right? So knight e2 going to knight f4, regrouping. Finally, c5 is on the board, but the knight on g7, sorry, but I don't like it.
Yeah, it's a
I would rather have
piece.
it on e5, and it's a long journey to get there.
And still, we see the problems with the rook on a8. You know, you can never bring it to the action thanks to the f1 bishop. g5 stopping knight f4.
Ooh, more and more weaknesses.
Opening your
Knight
king.
c1. Knight c1 is possible.
Wow, beautiful move.
Also, queen a3 and rook c3 is an idea.
Pressure against the c5 pawn. He took on g5.
Well, bishop g2 doesn't seem to be an awful place for the bishop either.
And he goes for your idea, knight c1. Beautiful regrouping of the knight.
Yeah, but it's not so easy. You see, the rook is on b1 unprotected. You see?
Yeah. That was a nice reason.
Actually, I don't like knight c1.
Yeah.
Because some contingencies.
Could I take this guy here on a6 after rook d8?
Well, if you're a computer, you would. But maybe then c4.
I'm just hungry. C4, and then you leave this guy out of play.
Knight a2 then. But I think there are too many weaknesses for black. That's the problem.
Yeah, c4.
Knight b4. Rook b8.
Rook b8.
Rook b8.
The knight.
Rook b2.
And how do we protect everything now? A6 and C4 at the same time. I think we can't.
No, I think this position, I don't know how to defend.
13 seconds only for Pranav.
Ooh.
Pranav, are you there?
Well, now E5 is also somewhere there. Also Bishop C4. What happens on
Bishop C4.
Bishop C4?
Looks good. Looks good. Bishop C4. And then if you trade, I also have the D5 square for my knight. Knight D5.
Well, he wants to get the white square bishop. Bishop C4.
Bishop C4, rook C5.
What about queen E5? Takes and rook A1 and A6 would not be possible to defend. Bishop A6 he could take. He could take bishop A6 and queen D3 double attack.
Right.
But
beautiful.
King G2 is not bad either in this position.
Wow, King G2 in order to go rook H1. That looks almost like a checkmate, but no, instead rook H8.
Well,
rook B8,
there
sorry.
are a lot of problems for black here.
Yeah, this king, so naked.
Of course, a winning position, you have to win, which is, we all know that it's not so easy. Queen C5 looks pretty good. Queen F5 threat also.
Rook A8, he goes after the pawn. Queen E6, protecting it.
But I see that Pranav will be fighting very hard. But
yeah,
he has to be very careful.
He's doing well. And only Esipenko has now less than 30 seconds.
But the position is too much winning. Queen B8 is a threat.
Queen B8. Brings the king in order to protect the knight. Queen A4.
Wow, what a
that's
move.
Beautiful.
What a
Forcing
move.
C6. And now the A6 pawn is falling.
Well, this is not something that Pranav will be able to defend. It's too winning.
Yeah.
Too winning.
Now he just took the pawn. Well, knight, rook B6, knight D5 still,
But
so rook A7.
Exchange, queen C5.
A6, A7.
Queen E4.
And you need a miracle here to defend this position.
Knight F4. Why didn't he play knight F4? Talking about miracle.
There we go. Knight F4.
Queen A7, check.
Queen A7. You cannot go to H6 because of mate on H7.
No, King F8 will be the only move. But then Queen B8, Queen B7, and A7. But still...
You're still fighting. Not easy.
Of course. Of course.
Only 10 seconds. Queen E3.
12 seconds for white, 10 seconds for black. Fighting spirit is there. A7, unfortunately, for black, because after check, F1, and the game is over. The game is over. Knight H3, King G2. And Esipenko is equalizing the match just in a few seconds.
Right, King G2, and then you can resign. Last trick. It's not gonna work.
I'm sorry, but what was the trick? If I take...
There was no trick. If I take the knight, nothing happens. There's no mate.
No. Okay, so 1-1. Great equalizing by Esipenko. Of course, he is a great player. Pranav, he's not happy. He's smiling, we can see. He can't believe it that he gave the point. Not he was not fighting so well. But I think simply what we can draw after this game, that I think Esipenko simply understood this position better.
Yeah, I think we have a fair result, right? So in both games, they put pressure with the white pieces, and they got an advantage, and they kept it until the end. So 1-1, fair result.
Yeah, so far it's pretty fair, because after the opening, there was a nice move, knight C6, I think, by Esipenko. If we go back into the opening,
yes,
I like that move, because I think Pranav was not realizing it, how dangerous it will be. And this is why chess is so beautiful when we talk about positional things, right? I mean, it's only move, what is it, move 10? Or maybe
move
13?
15. Move 15.
Move
yes.
15. So he goes knight C6, and now you make your decision with black. You have to think about the consequences of it. And after b takes c6, it's not going to be that you're going to lose the game immediately, but you can make sure that the a6 pawn is a weakness forever and until the rest of the game. And if you're lucky, it's just there and it keeps your rook busy defending it.
Right.
If you're not lucky, you're just losing it.
Exactly. So I understand. He wants to improve the structure, control the center, but then this guy here on a6 is just a nightmare for the rest of the game.
And we shouldn't forget that the bishop has its power from its initial square. Look, it's just standing there next to the king, thinking we were talking about g3 and bishop g2, right? Probably Esipenko didn't even have this idea during the whole game. If you just keep an eye on that pawn on a6, really, that okay, it's a good deal to have my bishop keeping the rook on a8. So what about bishop c6 here?
Bishop c6 looks natural, and I don't know, e4 is hanging, so maybe his idea was just to go bishop d4 once again.
Or bishop c4?
Play. Or bishop c4, putting pressure against f7. Yeah, both of them look natural here. Maybe queen d7 here.
I think still black should have played with bishop
yeah.
c6.
Still solid.
Because it's solid, though I'm not sure, to be honest, if we can say that knight h5 and rook e8 is in synchron in this position to play both. King h7, knight h5, rook e8, it's kind of mixing some plans.
Right. I guess you have to go back, as you said, some point to f6 and then put pressure against e4. And then if white plays f3, maybe you can go back once again to h5.
To play f3, that's a completely different story. We have to highlight that for our audience, that in this position, if you can force white to play f3, do it.
Right. Because look at these squares now. So, Wick, the dark squares.
Yeah, and in these structures, I think the most important thing for whoever wants to play these positions with any color is to understand the positional aspect of it. That if after f3, then there are really weaknesses on g3 and f4 and bishop e5 and just simply very different ideas for black, right? If black captures on c6 with the b pawn, your problem is most likely not about having both double pawns, but it's much more the problem to have your a6 pawn being weakness.
Right. So we have
game 3.
Exactly. And then they're going to repeat this. Ruy Lopez, once again, we'll see how Esipenko plays against it.
Berlin this time.
Berlin. Yeah, one of the most solid approaches against e4. And d3 anti-Berlin, knight d4 is usually the recipe in this line. And bishop b6.
Bishop b6.
Bishop a4, prophylaxis against c6, I guess.
Yeah.
And short castle. So whenever there is a bishop on b6, I'm always tempted to go bishop g5.
Which is on the board?
You cannot go back. No. If you want to unpin, you have to play g5. Exactly. You want to go g5 here and open your king? If you don't want to go g5, you will have a pin there forever on f6.
Well, until the point you don't play g5.
Exactly.
And you can go for it on a later stage of the game. This is the provocation by white. And it's there.
It worked. Bishop g4. Yeah, you want to go knight h5, I guess, in the next move. Queen f6. I'm always scared, you know, like black is accumulating so many pieces there on the king side. This bishop looks so strong as well.
You can see that Andrei Esipenko is playing very fast. Also, the previous game, he started to play very fast in the opening.
It looks like he's still in prep.
And maybe he changed a little bit on the style, the strategy, that he says, okay, I have to play very fast the opening because he was behind in time in game 1.
Right. I like this move you did, knight c4. I want to eliminate already this guy. Super dangerous.
Do you want to take on b6 or you want to go knight e3?
Yeah, knight e3 is also a very nice idea. Looking for the f5 square.
Yes, but black can exchange on e3 as well.
Right. So it's kind of the same, yeah.
Yeah, the question is whether the double pawn with a takes b6, who does it favor?
I like this move somehow now, and g4, if you go back. But you go back maybe to e6.
But I'm not sure he wants to go back. Bishop d1, maybe queen d7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bishop e6.
Bishop e6, he took on b6, and now f4, going all in.
It's a real blitz because they're not even spending seconds too much.
Right.
Puck, 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 puck. It's like it's like a bullet game so far.
Right. He took everything, and I guess the queen on g5 is well placed because there is
after queen g5. I think rook f3 might be unpleasant, and rook e3 idea.
I didn't notice about this idea. Rook f3, rook g3, and then suddenly I'm in real trouble on the g file.
Well, maybe it's not much trouble. Maybe after all, you just move away with the king. Maybe after queen g5, queen f2, bishop e2. But don't forget that the a2 pawn can be under attack.
Wow.
It can be captured at one point.
At this moment, I think you can't, right? Because after all trades, you have this b3 or c4, and then the bishop looks like trapped there on a2.
But maybe now it would be better to play a4 or something just in case.
Just to forget about that weakness.
It's not clear how white wants to improve. Rook g3. Okay, queen f6.
Queen f6. And I guess, can I go queen e3, bishop e2, rook f1 or
queen
something
f4.
like that? Queen f4. I like this move. So not allowing queen e3.
Esipenko is playing practically instantly. Instantly.
Super fast. Are we going to see a repetition here? I don't think so, but...
we'll see.
Queen g5. And we'll see.
Actually, I don't think white is better.
Yeah. And rook g8 is coming, maybe. So stopping all these ideas with rook g3. Rook g3. Yes, maybe we're gonna see this repetition. Or maybe Esipenko wants to go for the win now. But I don't like queen f6 somehow because queen e3, bishop e2, rook f1, all pieces are coming very fast.
But don't forget that after queen f6, also rook f3 is possible still to chase the queen.
Right. Maybe it doesn't change much. No, but I was thinking to go for the win here with the white pieces if you don't go queen f4. Queen f6, Esipenko going for the win.
Well, I wouldn't say he's going for a win. I think he's testing Pranav that what do you want?
Right.
Are you really begging for a draw and you want to make a repetition?
Rook g8. Yeah, rook g8, very nice. And now who is attacking who?
I think white should have played rook f3.
Right. Because now the rook on a1 looks very far away from the action.
Well, on the other hand, it shouldn't be a big problem for white because f3 bishop is very stable. Let's say queen f4.
Yeah, queen f4, very nice. Forcing the trade probably on g8.
Well, there is not much to do with white.
And queen f4, rook g8, queen f2 probably.
Yeah, that's kind of forcing, I believe.
And I want to push the h pawn somehow, but it's not easy. Maybe rook g5 in order to go h5, h4.
Takes, queen f2.
How do we attack here with the black pieces? White is very solid.
Well, rook g3 is always a nice place for the rook.
Rook g5.
e5, h5, h4, b5. It's not so easy to crack white's position, though.
Yeah. I would be super scared here with the white pieces. Rook f1. Maybe he wants to just retreat the bishop and then trade queens.
I would go 8.
Maybe bishop d1?
Yeah, you're not happy with that, are you?
No. I just want to eliminate the queens. King g8 back.
Queen f2 back.
Right?
You
And then
can't really
h5.
do much.
Queen f2 back.
This is why I would think that rook f3 to repeat there. Maybe it was wiser because here anyway with white, it's more dangerous if you want to push.
Right. How about the endgames, Judith? Who is better in an endgame here without
After
queens?
h5?
Yeah, h5. Let's say bishop d1, queen f2, rook f2. Who is better in that endgame? Because I like white structure. We have less islands. And the h5 pawn could be weak. But you always have
Yeah,
bishop
but the
g4.
king would defend. Well,
Mhm.
okay, now black, it seems just he's going to make pass, or he moves with his king to e7.
Mhm. Yeah, bishop d1 is being played. Looking for the trade. Yeah, as you said, like after the trade of queens, I can never attack the h6 pawn, for example.
Well, king f2, rook h1, black goes b5, king g7.
Yeah, it should be equal, yeah?
I think so.
But remember, this is blitz. And of course, anything can happen in tight trouble.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, f5 actually is a good move. I just wanted to say that if white could go g4, king to f4, white is pressing.
Now the structure is going to be symmetrical and
takes on e4.
Takes on e4, bishop takes e4, d5, bishop f3 back.
I'm not sure d5, maybe c6. But he's going for it. c6 now.
c6.
I would want to go a4 here. a4.
a4, rook a1, rook a3.
Or rook h4, rook b4.
Right. Very nice. e4. Fixing the weakness on b6 that can be targeted. So now rook h4, you allow b5. But then
b5, rook b4.
Yeah, rook b4 and a4. Could be some troubles here for black.
I didn't like d5.
I guess I can
That's
go
why I
bishop
wanted to
c8.
go. That's why I wanted to go c6 and b5, not to have my pawn on d5.
Right. So rook b4. Can I go rook bishop c8, Judith, in order to stop a4? Maybe it's the only move there. I don't know.
He wants to go king d4.
Yeah, some penetration squares.
Now I like it for white.
Yeah, me too. It's a little bit dangerous for black here. You gotta be careful.
And you can also see it on time that black started to go losing seconds here, seconds there. So more than half a minute advantage for Pranav.
Exactly. Well, can we play some b6 at some point? But then rook b4, a4 is even stronger. Bishop f7.
Bishop f7.
King d4.
King d4, b6.
b6, yeah. And then the rook is not lifting to.
So I think now rook b4. Rook b4.
Rook b4 and then rook
e8.
e5.
Rook e5, right? King d4. And rook e7, king c5.
Wow.
I think now black has to make some only move kind of things. Rook b4, bishop e8.
It looks very dangerous. And after a4, you want to go c5 there?
c5.
Is it rook b3?
b4.
And pawn takes bishop a4, yeah? But still, rook a3. Rook a3, and then the pawn on c5 is hanging. I don't know, looks very shaky for black. a4 straight away.
Good question, why not rook b4? But of course, he spent 40 seconds
No, but this is also very dangerous because now you want to go back, then king d4, king c5 once again.
Absolutely. Now black is having a very dangerous position, I think.
Yeah, king
c5.
And then what do you want to play there? Rook a7
What
next
kind
move,
of king
b6.
journey from nowhere? Look at that.
Right. King, a super active piece. Maybe he wants to go after d4, bishop d3. And
Or bishop
a6.
e4 contemplate. So rook d4?
Rook d4. That was... I wanted to bring the rook to a7, but d4 is being played. And now bishop e4, contemplate. Now g2 could
I don't
suffer.
like that.
But what happens if I just go rook a7 here?
Bishop f3 and h5.
Or even b6. And then trade of rooks and h5.
No, but this was a big mistake, I think, for white to allow to have the black bishop on e4.
Right.
Big
Now
mistake.
anything can happen because if you take on e4, I can't even take with the pawn.
Oh, he has to go now rook a1.
Would be even tricky for white now.
The rook a1, bishop f3, rook f1, rook e3.
Rook e3, and then this pawn is going to run like a beast.
Serious mistake.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you are threatening rook
Well,
f1,
okay.
I guess.
Yeah, so he has to move away, and he wants to go c4, d5. So there is going to be a pass pawn race with 29 seconds for white, 45 seconds for black.
Wow, this is becoming crazy position. What do we play here with black pieces? Because after rook e8, king d7, I chase you, or even c4, d5, as you said.
No, but I think check back, king rook e7. So here rook e6, let's say.
King d7.
Rook e7.
Right. No, but I was thinking if black can go for the win here. I don't know, because I have this pawn on e4.
At first, I also thought before, but after rook a1, I think it's maybe it's going to be backfire. 10, 9, 8, 7.
King f7. He wants to bring the king to e8, or it has to be rook f1, king e8.
Actually,
no more
I
checks.
like this move.
And then push the e pawn.
But what about
d5?
Why not c4?
King f6. Now
But
careful.
Rook e1. But rook e1.
Rook e1, e3.
I know rook e1, rook d7, and king e5.
Oh, yeah. King d4. But now king g5, I guess.
King
you want
e3.
to block. You want to block with king e3. That's right. Okay, rook f1, king e6, rook f2, rook g4, I guess.
b4.
Now king d6. Who's better now? Probably it's equal, yeah?
Well, it's gonna be a draw, I guess. d4.
King c6.
King
King
c6.
c6.
Well,
Rook e4. Still a draw, I guess, but yeah, you cannot take with the king because of c4,
rook
and then you
c2,
can.
rook c2.
6 seconds for Pranav. He takes finally on e3.
Okay, so it's gonna be a.
Yeah, now it's gonna be a draw.
What an interesting match.
That's right.
What an
So it's
interesting match.
It's gonna be 1.5 versus 1.5. And the last game, Esipenko with the white pieces.
Yeah, and they agreed to a draw. Wow.
Crazy game. Yeah, so maybe instead of a4, rook b4 at that point. Or...
I didn't want to go a4. Rook b4 I wanted before. And here, what about rook d4?
Rook d4.
I know that you don't like it because I'm passive, but it's only temporary, I would think. Because I want to go b4, king b6, b5.
Yeah, that's...
And also possible c4.
Can I try to activate my rook e3, but then king b6, right?
That was the plan.
Yeah.
Go king b6. I don't know if it's good, but that was my plan. King b6 and rook d3, king b7.
You can even take here. Yes, exactly. I guess this is losing. So there's
But
no
in
way
this game also, there were some moments where you can see it so well that in end games, just go back, no, forward, please, when d4 was played. Like
Here?
it's so clear that if you go d4, bishop e4, and the black bishop suddenly activates itself, while the pawn on d3, the bishop on f3 is so stable
Right.
that white is better. And
Mhm.
it's also another way of doing, instead of king c5, here after rook e7, also I think it would be possible to go b4 first. White has, I think, a huge advantage.
I understand Pranav because you know, you have the rook on a4 and the plan in your at least to me it was so clear that I wanted to go rook a7 and king b6 that psychologically it's like tough to go back to d4, you know.
Yeah, but
I understand, like after bishop e4 it's clear that you cannot be better with white yet.
Yeah, the problem is that after bishop e4, black is immediately taking, I'm not saying taking the initiative, but let's face it, after d4, your rook on a4 is doing nothing, and you will have to get back with it anyway, while the e7 rook is supporting very much your passed pawn, right?
Right.
So it's one move, and he just completely fully recovered after d4, bishop e4.
Well, 1.5 versus 1.5, last game. So what do you guys think? Who's gonna go through the final? I don't know. It's so balanced, Judith. I mean, I didn't expect it, to be honest. You know, I was thinking that Yasipenko was a big favorite.
Well, I think in the games we can see a very balanced match, I must say. Very balanced match, because even in this game, we could see that, well, in opening, I think Yasipenko got a very good position. We can't say that there was anything wrong. And after that, basically Pranav created for himself a little better position by the end game.
Yes, so I guess the game is starting in about 1 minute only. Now, Yasipenko with the white pieces. Are we gonna see another Italian? I think it was an Italian, yeah, what Yasipenko played. Yes, Italian. This line with a4. This line.
Yes.
I discovered this line like a year ago or something. It's knight f6. Of course, you have to study knight g5. I usually blunder. I pretend that I know this line, but okay. It started already. Bishop e7 now.
Okay.
And knight c3 once again. d6, a4, giving some pressure to this bishop. And I guess the idea after knight a5 is to occupy the center with the pawn on c5. And then once you have played c5, the knight has done its job and then usually goes back to c6.
Yeah.
Knight d2.
Question
This
is
reminds
whether
me
White can get
to those anti-Sicilians with the anti-Pelican, yeah?
True.
Where you have this control of the light squares. I guess,
Are we gonna see an Armageddon game?
Yeah, I would love to.
I think they wouldn't mind, really. They have good nerves. They play for the fun of it. I mean,
What do you prefer, black or white in the Armageddon?
Well, in the Armageddon, white has 5 minutes and black has 4 minutes. And if it's a draw, then black wins, passing through to the final. I think I would take black because in this match, you can see very well that the time element is important.
I think usually people...
No, maybe I would take with white for this reason. Sorry, with white.
With white, you prefer
with
time.
white to have more time because time is an important issue somehow.
Right. So c3 has been played. Queen d7. I guess taking on d5 is not a very good option here because the knight cannot come to e7 and then you give up the bishop pair.
But black can go bishop d8. And now already trying to exchange on d5 and knight e7.
Yeah, I never understood these positions. Like when you take on d5 and then knight e7, you have the bishop pair with the white pieces, but then this bishop is not as strong on a2. It's blocked by the pawn on d5. But then maybe can be regrouped by a b1 and then can have a life and a future in that diagonal. Sorry, guys, so many arrows here. So this is the question now. Should we take on d5 or not? Bishop g4 is being played, so I like this move. I like this move because you want to take now with the knight. Even better. And then play knight e7.
Takes.
Queen g3.
So f4 we'll see on the board shortly, I'm pretty sure.
Bishop e6. And I guess knight e3 is also a natural move. No, f4. There we go. Is f5 a positional threat right now, Judith? Forcing to trade on c4 and then controlling the light squares or not?
Well, it's tricky to say whether it's a positional, because maybe it can be very tactical after bishop c4 takes knight e7, trying to push d5 and go queen f3 and go g4, right?
Right.
Be as fast as possible to push g4, g5.
Also, d takes e5, f takes e5, sorry, could be an option somehow. I guess bishop e5 is mandatory there, otherwise rook f6. So he took on c4 and knight e7. Well, now after f5, you just push d5, I guess. The extension e5. And what's going on here?
Yeah, the question is whether bishop f4 is good or no.
Bishop f4. No, queen f3 was played. He wants to keep the bishop pair. Controls d5. And he puts pressure against f7.
But you know, it can easily be the case that black goes king h8 and f5 will be a very strong counterplay.
Right. Can I try? No, I wanted to go crazy with something like g4 to stop f5.
Wow.
That's too much. Yeah. But maybe f5, the pawn is pinned, so I can try to go bishop e3 and d4.
But by the way, is it possible to take bishop f7? It's not because bishop f6?
Bishop f7. I would never take that pawn. I would be so scared. But bishop e6 could be a threat after bishop f7.
Okay, white wants to go d4, possibly.
Yeah, after f5, d4. That's what I was thinking. Because the rook on f8. Actually.
And f5 is there.
So d4. Yeah, so why not? You go back to f6. Now I take on f5.
Well, was it a blunder?
Is white winning already, or?
Well,
he takes
that's
f5.
a big problem for it. Was a blunder, I think. Yeah, you can see on his face also that he blundered.
Right, d5. Otherwise, bishop e6 was very strong.
And now g4 will come after bishop d3 and g5.
Maybe
what a blunder.
Yeah, I was thinking you can maybe put some pressure against d4, but with the queen on f2.
No, but this Esipenko will not let it slip away. No way.
Yeah.
No. No. He's not going to let it away. And besides the fact that he has nearly a minute extra, 50 seconds more anyway. Of course, Pranav will fight. Rook e8, queen d4, queen b4, pushing counter chance on d4 pawn.
Right. So rook e8 and king h1. He doesn't want any troubles, any tricks.
Why rook d8? Why not rook e7 and doubling?
Maybe it's time to go g4. There we go, g4.
There we go.
And now g5 is coming. Did you play h6?
Queen h6.
Well, you stop g5 momentarily, but queen
Do
h3.
you? I'm not even sure that you really stop. But maybe
Queen h3, king g8, no?
Yeah, but anyway, g5.
Wow. And after
Of
a
course,
pawn
g
takes.
takes h, pawn takes, bishop takes, and for f6, it's too much, right?
And if I take with a pawn?
Actually, it's not so simple. It's not so simple. If I cannot go g5,
right?
Maybe h4, but that's already tricky.
h4, I just take it. Give me that. And then what do you want to play? Do you want to go queen h3 or something? Queen g3?
Queen h3 was my plan, but I forgot about queen g3, I have to say.
Queen g3, and the bishop is hanging as well. So if you don't play h4, g5, then maybe next move queen b4.
It's tricky. It looks so much easier than it looks now for me.
Right. Okay, can I go maybe queen f2, reinforcing and preparing h4?
Queen f2.
Yes.
And now look, Esipenko started to think very, very long. So this can be a turning point and saving opportunity for black.
Wow, g5 straight away. What's the idea after pawn takes, Judit?
No, pawn takes, queen h5 and bishop g5.
Uh-huh.
Bishop g5 is the question for me. Bishop g5, bishop g5, h takes g.
And even that position that you said, pawn takes, queen h5, king g8, bishop g5, bishop g5, queen g5, and then queen f6. Is that easy?
No, it's far from easy.
Because if bishop takes, I like bishop takes, pawn takes. Ah, but after queen h5, you always have
queen
queen
h6.
Yeah. Rook e3, exchange sacrifice.
Yeah, but this
wow.
this was a way to play rook e3, but it was a provocation by Esipenko, and it was no reason to sacrifice it.
Now you have some material up.
I think he got scared for nothing.
Anyway, it's not easy. Now the king is safer and d4 is going to suffer. Maybe queen b4. Right? Queen b4 could be next move.
Well, white should place a rook on e6. So maybe rook fe1.
And after queen b4? I want to take some of your pawns.
Hey, it's not nice of you. I thought it will be so easy, not too difficult for Esipenko to convert his advantage. And look now what he's dealing with.
King g8.
But
and rook d3. Yeah, I like this idea.
But what's the idea after knight d4? You want to take or what?
I guess queen h5 is the... But then after rook h3, there is nothing, there is no mate, right? So the king always escapes.
Go back knight c6.
Knight d4, rook takes d4, bishop d4, and then f6, bishop takes f6, and nothing happens. Knight d4 already on the board. And this is becoming very tricky. Esipenko only with 1 minute in the clock.
Well, interesting. Queen e5, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Centralizing the queen.
Knight e2, knight f4 at some point.
Wow. It's also some queen e4 ideas against the white king. That's why rook h3, king f8. The king wants to escape to d6.
No, actually, this will be won by Pranav. This match.
Wow.
I would put my money on Pranav to win the match by now.
Now all Judith's money in Pranav. I like king e7 here.
Yeah, king
e7,
king d6. Sure, king d6.
super
No,
brave
king
king
D6,
on
king D-
d6.
Yeah, but king d6, queen g3. So he wants to make sure that he's not forced. Though queen at g3 is coming, I think.
King
50
d7.
seconds.
Queen g1. What's going on there?
Rook
It
e8.
looks so strange.
But what's the point of queen g1? I have no idea.
And now black putting pressure, definitely. All white pieces look so clumsy there on h3, g1.
Well, he just simply didn't want to exchange the queens and wants to keep the queens on the board.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think black should be worse at all.
Yeah,
g4 is a threat. Queen d2 is possible.
Now it's the right time to click the draw button, Judith. If
they have one, yes.
Exactly. Queen g2 maybe here, keeping everything protected and threatening queen d5.
g3. g4 is possible, maybe.
Yeah, I like queen g2 somehow.
Okay.
Now,
Rook
but
b1, gave up the b7. Oh.
Yeah, careful now. The king is in danger once again. Rook b7.
Wow. King c6, rook b1. This was a strange decision to take on b2, giving up the b7 pawn.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Rook f6 maybe.
Rook f6 is working. King c5. What is that king
What
doing?
a brave man.
In the center of the board.
You see the young optimist, in this guy. He's just going to king on c5.
Yeah, he's dancing with the king in the middle of the board. He starts collecting some fruits now.
With this pawn on a6, he's not very lucky in this match.
Yeah. So rook h8.
Rook h8.
Bishop e5. Bishop e5 is possibility now. But rook g2.
What about rook d3? No.
Queen f4.
Rook h2. Queen e4.
Wow. Is that working? No. Or maybe.
It was working.
Okay, this has to be completely lost for black, yeah?
Bishop e5.
Rook h1. Knight f3. Now he's looking for contemplate. Knight h2, g3.
Well, knight h4 check and rook c8 also makes some sense, for example.
Wow, there we go.
Oh.
And now rook b8.
Rook c8 because rook b8, bishop b5.
Bishop b5 blocking, yeah.
Bishop
d1. Once again, he's putting the pieces like in a strange way, as Ipenko. Now the rook on h1. Rook g1.
Giving up the rook. Bishop d4, rook a2 check. Make bishop d4.
Bishop d4. Wow, you
rook
cannot take on g4.
Check. Bishop takes on f2. What a blunder.
10 seconds only. Crazy.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
He's gonna lose on time.
And
Woof.
he went rook.
Wow.
Look at this and winning
bishop c3.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I put my money on this guy, you see?
Yes, I know. And it's over. Wow.
Oh, what a game.
Incredible how he fought. And then he found a lot of resources. He was very short on time, but
how many strange decisions were made in this game for both colors, I must say. But congratulations to Pranav. Went on to the final. He was the underdog. And he did well. Maybe we can have a short interview with him.
Yes, of course. Will be very nice to have him here because we have still 15 minutes till the next semi-final starts.
Very interesting.
So where's the
I made a short questionnaire to my audience on Instagram if Esipenko will win, and 74% of my audience thought that he's going to be winning match.
Yeah, I mean most of us, would have said that. Sipenko, he's got like 150 points, more rating points. So, but these young kids from India, they're improving so fast these days. What do they do there, Judith? What do they eat? I don't know. What's the reason?
Well, I think one of the main thing is, which is incredible, is this inspiration, and they are extremely motivated. So they feel, all of them, somehow when I was out there during the Olympiad, I felt that it has an incredible positive vibes, that I did not feel this jealousy towards each other, but somehow I felt that all these talents are kind of inspiring. It's like in business or whatever, wherever, if you have a competition, if you have a healthy competition, then it brings more and more and more ideas, talents, results, innovations, right? And this is what we are witnessing in India, I think, that simply the real healthy competition is there. And this is how they are just coming non-stop, those talents.
Maybe also the inspiration of Bishi Anand, right?
Of course.
We have Pranav here in the Zoom call.
Hi.
Hi, congratulations.
Thank you.
You fought so well in the last game, yeah? You were completely lost at some point, and then you were trying to find resources, and then you managed to win the game. What do you think?
I think I did not. After the opening itself, he got a better position, and I kind of lost hope there. I thought after the exchange gone, I thought it was over there.
You mean this moment, right? When you exchange, when you sacrifice the exchange here on E3, right?
Yeah, I thought he should be winning easily, but I did not see the way.
What did you see after Bishop takes E5 in this position?
Bishop G5.
Right.
I think I thought of takes and some F6, but I don't think.
F6, right? I mean, it looked very dangerous.
Yeah, if Queen F6, some Queen G4, Queen H6, and Rook F3 maybe. And
here, Queen G4, you say?
Yeah, Queen G4, Rook, Queen H6, and Rook F3. Maybe.
Oof. Looks very dangerous.
I thought giving the exchange and keeping the king safe watch, a safer option there. So, yes.
So what you had, what kind of feeling did you have for the outcome of the game, or you were not thinking at this point about that?
I thought I could maybe somewhat trick him, but I was not sure because I was low on time. And the moment I was bit sure I could do something was when I bought my king out after bringing the king.
Yeah, this moment, yeah?
Yeah, there I thought maybe I had some chances because his king is weak now and he cannot attack my king very easily. And then
yeah, your king is so safe. Maybe another turning point was when you took on b2, right? And then you suddenly are losing this b7 pawn, and once again your king still is back in danger.
Yeah, I just missed that Rook b1 and Rook b7. I was losing a pawn there. I thought he's just giving a pawn. Yeah.
Right. I thought maybe he could play here Queen G2.
Yeah, I thought Queen G2. I mean, I have to go some Queen a5 or something, I think, to defend the pawn, but then maybe b4.
Yeah, because here, once again, I couldn't believe the kid was on c5 and then you're surviving here.
Yeah.
All right. So what are your expectations for the final? You have a preference between Zadwani and Samonenkov? Who do you want to play and why?
No, I think both. I don't know what the result will be. But I don't have any preferences there. I mean, I won't play anybody there.
I guess you know pretty well your compatriot Satwani, yeah?
Yeah, I know him, yeah.
Before we let you go, I would want to go back to your first game, where you were completely winning practically. You made a pretty convincing game all the way. What do you have the feeling about after knight h6? Isn't it a draw?
Yeah, now knight h6 here?
No, generally this setup.
Yeah, I actually thought that I messed this up and I thought this was a draw, but I was just trying to, make some chances, and I think King G8 was a mistake, no? Maybe.
So maybe King G6, and we didn't know how to make progress here.
I thought King F8 somehow I could maybe bring my king. Okay, now I don't have any intrigue. Yeah, I mean, I thought this should be draw, but I was just trying to make the most in the position. So I was just trying to bring my king, and he made a mistake there.
Yeah, but before that you were winning, but we thought that Esipenko made a great saving, but he couldn't go all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was 2 pawns up there. Yeah, so I mean, I should have won a little bit easier there, but I think I was nervous.
So, what was the crucial moment of the match, you think? Out of the four, what were the turning points for you?
I think in the second game itself, I played Queen B8. And then I wanted to play Queen B4, but he had Rook A4 there, which I missed actually there.
Yes.
Here you mean, yeah, when you went to B8 and then back to D8.
I thought Queen B4, but Rook A4 was there, which I missed. So I have to play Queen D8 back. And I think after this game, I was not playing that well, I think.
It was so unpleasant to have this pawn on A6, yes? All the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bishop on F1. So are you playing some tournaments next week, or are you resting or training, or where are your plans?
No, I'm actually playing the Asian Continental right now.
Ooh, right now?
Yeah, I mean,
okay, where are you?
I'm in Delhi.
In Delhi, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you doing there in the tournament?
It's it's going okay. I scored like 2.5 out of 4.
Okay.
It's going good. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so congratulations for this match. Good luck for your continental event. And we see you tomorrow for the finals. Are you going to be following this game? Who is going to be your opponent, or you prepare for your next?
Maybe I think I will take some rest and prepare for the other game. Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, it's late already in India, I think, so it's about time to sleep for you probably shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's after midnight, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck and congratulations.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye.
It is so interesting that nowadays, in these days, he's not the only one who is playing 2 tournaments at the same time, right?
Right.
Because he plays a tournament in a physical tournament actually happening right now in India. And after the game, probably finished his game. And this is why we had to start this time, I think, because it affected some players in the final fours. And we see the players already round out. Satvani we see already prepared. We see him in front of the camera. Seems to be a little nervous, I must say. This is the feeling I have. Of course, he's stressful. He's the favorite in this game against the 13-year-old Samunenkov. And he's not 2,500 yet, but of course, with these kind of talents who are just 13, you never know, because from day to day, they can jump 10, 50, 100 points practically. And we see him on the screen, focus. So he's ready to start the game. But I think we still have several minutes. But of course, the players know that they should be sitting in front of the computer, their camera, having all the technical setup. So they are ready. Who do you think will win this match?
Well, you never know, I was so sure about Esipenko, so you can never be sure. As you say, with these 13 years old kids, you never know their real level, actually. And I don't know if you know, Judit, but they adjusted the rapid and blitz rating. FIDE adjusted it. So at least for the old guys, like me, when you play in a rapid and blitz tournament, now they cannot have more than 100 rating points. So I faced actually Satvani in a blitz tournament in Sitges a couple of years ago. He was already 2,500 classical rating points, but his blitz rating was 1,700. This has been rated by FIDE now. So
So what did they do exactly?
So, for example, if Sadwani has 2611 as he has now his blitz rating is minimum 2511. So maximum 100 rating difference.
But what is the purpose of that?
Well, because its blitz rating is not showing the real strength. Because he's 2600, but in blitz he is 1700. So, of course.
But usually before, the reason was that simply people were not playing enough blitz games, and that's why they didn't have proper rating, right?
Right. But they play classical, so they. I understand the point. Like, it's not natural that there can be a 1,000 rating point difference between classical and blitz.
Okay, so this match will be between Sadwani, another talented player. He's not that young though, because I think he's, what's his age? He's 17. He's not so old either. Only compared to his opponent, who is just 13.
Right. He's the grandpa of this match.
It's interesting. Now in the way I'm seeing him, he seems very similar to Anish Giri. Don't you think so on the screen now?
I completely agree.
No, now not so much, but when he was having his head like that,
mini
a little
Anish
bit
Giri.
Similarity. So let's see if we are going to see his chess similarity to Anish.
And Samunenko, he looks extremely concentrated.
A bit nervous also. I think he probably has the pressure that he's the favorite. He's 140 rating higher in classical game to his opponent. Of course, we are seeing a blitz match, 4 games. It's matter of mood, matter of lot of things that in the next 1 hour, nearly 1.5 hours, who is going to be able to show the best they can. And it's an online event, which makes also a different story. I stopped my competitive chess career before all these online events came into fashion, or it was a must during the pandemic. I don't know what is your experience on the online chess, because I don't have much.
I'm terrible with the mouse, so I'm extremely slow. And whenever I play these 3+0 blitz games, I'm just a terrible player, I prefer on the board. How about you? Did you try during the pandemic or?
No, I was not playing. I was commentating and following some events, of course, but I was not competitively playing at all. So I don't really know the feeling even. How can you get to this concentrating and focus mode, having your lights and your screens around, but really focusing only on the chessboard on your screen?
We had a lot of competitions during the pandemic where I was participating. We have this Ibero-American Championship where all Latin American countries participate, and also Spain and Portugal. And I was extremely nervous, even more than in a normal tournament. We have the game already started, Judith.
Yeah, Karakan, what a solid players, these guys. They are not even 30 years old together.
Right, they play this line with d3 and then trading queens in move number 4.
What is this? What is this? What is this boring chess? So let's see the technique of endgames.
And now they regrouping the knight to d3 makes a lot of sense in order to place pawn on f3.
I never was a big fan of playing such a symmetrical position, especially not after move 4.
I think the engine is quite happy about this line for white these days. F3.
Yeah, I know that our sport is changing and transforming because of the evaluation. Back when I was a teenager, it was like plus minus under each other or winning, but now you don't have these evaluations. +2, +3, 1.5, and these are the evaluations, right? And the engine likes it. We don't understand why, but it likes it.
No. I was preparing for a game in the Portuguese league this summer, and then I was lucky that my opponent fell for my prep, and then I knew that it was +4. But then when I am the board, I I asked myself, why is this +4? You know, I have no idea. You know, and the engines these days they claim +4, and then you don't understand why. So.
But I hope the engine is not claiming +4 in this position, because I don't believe that.
No
I'm gonna
way.
go knight d7 with black, and knight
Right.
a5. I go long castle.
Knight d7, knight a5, a long castle to protect the bishop.
No,
Bishop b3.
no knight a5. Bishop b3 was grabbed and d5. So positional.
Right, and I think black is super solid here.
I mean, really, white has anything here?
I don't think so. Knight d7, king e7, rook d8, b4.
b4. Okay, this is definitely a good move. b5 is on the way.
Can I stop b5? No, right? Because after a6, you play b5 anyway.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a huge achievement for white to play b5, but at least it's possible.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's bishop c4 first, and now knight d3 is coming. Yeah, I guess this is nothing. And now you can even play
knight
a6.
d8, knight d8, knight d6.
And if you are scared about b5, you can even play a6 now, because you connected the rooks already. And as you say, knight d8, knight d6, and this looks like the perfect, the dream of a Philidor player.
And who was writing a Chessable course of the Philidor?
Me.
So you must know what is the dream of a Philidor player.
Right. Exactly. In the 298. So
well, black is safe and no problem at all, I think. At all.
I guess you cannot over push with black trying f5. Or maybe you can now that the king is on e3. Now f5, what's going on?
Well, the temptation is big. You can also go knight b5, forcing c3. White cannot go c4 because of knight d4, I guess.
Right. But even if you go c4 and then c5, I always have this b5 square.
Exactly.
So maybe not so scared about this c4, c5.
Well, now the temptation is big for black to go f5, but h5. Right. Actually, I wanted to say h5 because I think h5 is better for the moment. So I should go h4, I think, because I don't like if black goes h4.
And then you have many plans. You can even think about rook a to g8 and g5 if you go h4.
Yeah, but it's not going to give you advantage, I believe. Rook a5. Right. I like rook a5.
Pressure against e5. Basically, you're forced to go f6, I believe, or king f6, but I don't like king f6.
Going f6?
Yes.
Because now what? h4, fine.
h4. And maybe what you said, knight b5. Whenever you go c4, then knight d4, and then you stop. I mean, you cut the action
on the board. Yeah, c3, rook d8.
Black is perfectly fine here. Rook a1. It didn't work out, so I go back.
Maybe white wants to go rook a1 to g1 and g4, because the b3 bishop stands well, covering the g8 square.
Right.
So now rook g1, g4 might be the plan.
So after rook g1, maybe once again I can try this f5 move. Rook d1.
White has a 50-second advantage on time, which will probably not make a huge difference in the result of the game.
No, the game can become very interesting if black tries f5. Suddenly, a lot of tactics. What's going on if I take with the e-pawn and then bring a rook to the e-file? Black has a very interesting center, but can become shaky at some point.
Yeah, knight b6 wants to go knight c4. But now I have a question. What happens if knight c5?
Knight c5. You can always maybe you can always go back to d7 or not? No, rook d6.
Well, now it's a question. Knight c4, whether did black made an improvement in his position? What about taking on c4, b3, and knight c5? Isn't it pressure on black?
Could be. Yeah, I like that. Bishop c4, b3, knight d6, knight c5, and then I can even double rooks on the d file. And how are you gonna kick this knight from c5? Rook e1. I don't understand this move.
Preparing for some f4 one day.
So 2 minutes.
Balanced position, but actually I think there are a lot of action possibly. It's like in Iceland when you walk around the geysers.
Right.
And at one point it starts blowing high, the hot water.
Right.
This can happen here too.
But this is a pawn up, or am I missing something? B takes a5?
Maybe it's a blunder.
Yeah, I think a5 is a blunder.
And you can see on the face also on Igor.
Yeah, ba5. This is gonna be a clean pawn up for white. Talking about Iceland. Have you been?
What a disappointment. Takes knight b5, rook c1.
Rook c1, and you have control everything. Have you been in a place called Blue Lagoon in Iceland, Judith?
Beautiful. Amazing.
Wow, it's amazing.
Amazing.
I was there. It was -10 or something outside, but then the water was very warm, and
yeah,
they even give you some drinks there. And
yeah, the country is amazing itself, with huge chess tradition, and this year I'm sure with a lot of celebration of the anniversary of the Fischer-Spassky 72.
Right,
it's the 50th anniversary of that.
I mean, the Fischer Random World Championship is taking place there in Reykjavik right now. b4, knight c5 coming, pressure against this b7, a rook to d1 as well. It's gonna be very tough for Samonenkov.
It's a pity, you know, I have a bad feeling that in this game this happened, this blunder, because it was so unnecessary. But okay, this is a blitz game, right? For a second, fraction of a second, you lose concentration.
Yeah,
and it can happen. Though it's not so easy to convert the pawn up, I must say.
Exactly, because c4 is never easy because of the d4 square.
So now we're going to see how Sadvani's technique at this stage of his career.
Rook d1. I guess the idea is knight c5 and then take with the king on d1.
Yes, and maybe at some point white will have to come back knight b3, covering the d4, and only after that c4. Or just keep the knight on c5, and with the help of his king, he will be improving his position.
I like this move, rook b8, because I guess he wants to take on d1 and then play b6.
And b6. Yeah. But now, yeah, b6, king c2.
King c2 and rook d1 probably.
The rook a1, rook a6 is also not something you would say that it's not an idea.
Right. Rook a1, rook a6, and then suddenly the c6 pawn could suffer.
I would go rook a1.
There we go. Rook g8.
G5
Desperation.
is the only counter possibility.
How about c4 now? And after knight d4, king d3, and then rook a7 coming.
Well, pretty promising, I must say.
Only 18 seconds for the Ukrainian.
Well, this game is halfway gone. And I was modest, I think, saying that. Because if this game would be saved by Ihor, it would mean that he would have a great psychological advantage in this match.
Can I go rook d8? Maybe you are forced to go back. That's right. So he's not liking c4 for some reason. c4, knight d4, king d3, maybe rook d8 there, and after rook a7, king e8. And it's not easy to move the king to e3 because of knight c2.
Yeah, but you can go king c3, knight e2, king b3. I mean, it should be a win anyway with the passed pawn, b passed pawn. Well, now the question is which win to choose, right? Which we all know that it's easy to say that, okay, this is problem, but this is not real problem. At this stage, White has to solve this issue, right? To convert his advantage into victory and move on in the match with 1-0.
Yeah, but one big mistake would be to consume here 1 more minute and then anything can happen in real-time trouble. You already spent like a minute in this position.
I think c4 should be the move.
Exactly. Rook d1. Well, not a bad idea. Intending rook d7.
But knight d6.
Yeah, you block. And then after rook a1, knight b5 back. Then we're in the same position.
But it's only the second time.
Right. You can still go back.
Right.
Otherwise g5 is coming and a lot of counterplay. Well, I don't know if a lot of counterplay, but some.
Well, in the last 2 moves, definitely some improvement for Samunenkov. 10 seconds only, but in the last... Ooh!
Rook a8.
What an opportunity for black.
Dancing with the rook. Between g8, d8, and a8. Confusing Satwani.
Wow. Only few seconds more. And 1 pawn, but before he was better, I believe.
Knight b3.
He wants to regroup it to a5.
And king d7 probably?
Knight b5 first.
Or knight b5. Wow, knight b5.
No, king d7. But now knight c4. Or king, no, king c2 and it's gone. What a trick.
Wow, rook d6.
Ah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Knight c4, knight a3. And after king b3, you have to resign.
But I was not convinced with his technique, I must say. I was not convinced.
Yeah, he was. He had a lot of doubts at some point.
Yeah, he's also not happy with his way of winning, but of course, collecting the point, that's the most important thing. So 1-0 with the white pieces. It must be a bad feeling for Ihor playing with the black pieces this game, because it was what a pity to blunder that pawn. White has practically nothing special.
Yeah, this was the crucial moment when he went a5, and after bishop takes b3, suddenly the pawn is gone. Any other move and black is fine here, right?
Well, I think knight c5 would be there, and it could be unpleasant, but I think it shouldn't be really a problem for black. Even I could say, but maybe that's not good. I was thinking to play b6.
Yeah, but then I was thinking about bishop a2, and the knight can be kind of
and
trapped.
b3, yes.
Yeah.
But actually, it means that it could be an idea anyway to go to bishop c2, let's say, and b3 at some point.
Right.
But first, I think knight c5 would be something to be watching after. g3, f4, king f2, maneuvering here and there.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this configuration of knights here.
But the thing is that a5 was clearly very visible for Sadvani. I think that it's a blunder, because I think his plan was anyway to take on c4, playing b3 and c4.
Right.
So after a5, it just thought, wow, it's a pawn for nothing.
Exactly. Well,
this was a fortunate story for him. That's clear. But of course, let's see if Igor can come back in game 2 with the white pieces. Just few minutes to recover, I think, because the players have few minutes break after each game.
Right.
And then they can show whether they can punch back. That's what happened in the previous match. Esipenko lost in game 1 with possible saving, and then he punched back. But of course, it's not easy. You need your opponent's cooperation or collaboration in this.
Exactly. Do you know, Judith, what's the time control in Israel, in Tel Aviv, or we don't know yet?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe it will be the same. Well, for our new people, new audience, we can say that today we are going to see the winner of the second semifinal, which we are witnessing right now. And the winner of this match will be playing against Pranav, who won the first semifinal. And the winner of this whole Final Four is going to be traveling to Tel Aviv in December, playing with Pragnananda, who was the winner of the previous year's Challengers Chess Tour. And we know him from the top elite tournaments by now because he's participating. Got the first opportunity, I think, through this series of events because the winner was invited to the Champions Chess Tour, playing with the very best players in the world. And he was somewhere in the middle of the field. So he proved it that he qualified once, but I think it will be long time that he will be out from the elite tournaments. So he got it once, and then he's going to be there for many years to come.
For sure. Like India has a brilliant future ahead, right? In terms of top chess players, like we have Gukesh now playing like crazy, Eri Gaisi, Pragnananda, and Satwani. It's amazing. Yeah, like they're gonna have like a lot of players in the top 100 for sure.
Sadvani was playing in the C group of the Olympiad, if I remember well.
Right. I think so.
I think that was also, or maybe it was a B group, B team.
I think it was the C team, Sadwani.
Yeah, and I think it was a great opportunity for India, which they grabbed because of the COVID, and it was replaced the Olympiad in the last minute. But it was a fantastic opportunity for India to give a possibility to show their talents in 3 different teams during the Olympiads. So this was something very special, I think, for the future of chess in India.
Yeah.
D4.
Then we have a game. Whoa, knight c3. This is Jovava London system. Some people call it like that. E6. And I guess the idea is to go knight b5, right?
Yeah, interesting that nowadays people like to go sidelines more, at least what was considered some time ago sideline. And I think it also due to the engines, that engines come up with ideas. I mean, what is this G4, right? 15 years ago, I would go G4 because I was a maniac G4 player. People would say, come on, I mean, what kind of things are you doing in the opening? Move 6.
Yeah, so crazy. I think I have seen Magnus Carlsen playing this line with G4 as well at some point.
Yes, but I'm sorry. I can't say that you have to follow Magnus Carlsen in opening preparation nowadays. Sorry, but I have my skepticism on that, playing the Bon Cloud, playing all kind of strange things in the opening.
You see, like there was some problematic recently, like Magnus was playing in some online tournament, G4, G5 in every move. And then Mamedov played against him in the last round. And then he resigned after move number 1 because he thought he was you know,
insulted.
Not very respectful, exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think?
To tell you the truth, I just somehow lost the thread of this whole story, what's going on in the online chess. And I'm a little bit upset about the openings, which is happening on the board. because and I can't figure out what is the real reason the players, including Magnus, doing it. That is it because he's looking for some new ideas, because he's bored of the classical lines. I don't think he's underestimating the opponent really that much.
Maybe he's tired of winning, or what? Or he just wants to have some fun.
I don't know. There are different reasons, I think, but it's a kind of a mess of the sport right now. In many ways, I must say, but I think it will clear up.
Yeah. Dark times for chess.
Well, huge development advantage for black.
What is this move?
Well, giving
Knight
up the
F3.
pawn, rook g1, that's the best thing can happen to white if black takes it.
Right. So then I like knight f3 because I want to jump to e5.
Well, for now, queen b2 is not possible because knight a4, queen up.
Somehow you need to react with the black pieces. Maybe some c5 at some point, or
knight e4 is also possible, maybe.
Wow, knight a4 there. Yes, knight a4, bishop a6, and then knight c5. Yes, so
c5. I like c5. It makes a lot of sense, the previous move in this way. Bishop d7, great place against knight a4. It stopped opening up the position. Suddenly queen b2 is a threat. Isn't black better already?
So could I go here before knight f3, knight a4 or not?
Queen d8.
Queen d8, and then, I mean, I have stopped this c5 idea, so maybe I can go now knight f3. So c5, I can always take on a6, and I don't know.
Maybe
But
knight
this-
e4.
Okay, c5, rook b1, cd4.
Rook c8. It looks extremely good for black, I think.
c8. Yeah, suddenly all this configuration, the rook on b1, the pawn on g4.
Maybe knight g4 is possible already. Rook g1, knight f6 back. You cannot
after
take
rook
on
g7?
g7, knight h5, I think.
Wow, there's this fork here on h5, and then if that's working, that's a clean pawn up for black.
Let's take the pawn on g4. This is impossible for white to play this way. King in the middle, rook on b1, you're not developed. No, no, no.
Yeah, something has gone wrong for sure.
No,
And if
c5
you can't take
was a
the
very
pawn
good
g5,
reaction.
You can't take the pawn. This is just losing, yeah? You cannot even castle now.
Well, yeah, not anymore. Well, probably white can or should play knight e5.
Yeah, now you are threatening to take on g7.
Okay,
or
so g6.
g6. And then... Yeah, looks bad. Looks bad for white. Rook d8
Black
has been
played
played.
rook d8. What a strange move to me.
I don't understand this move, Judith. What's the idea?
Good question.
What's the idea behind rook d8, guys?
At some point, he wants to go knight e4, even sacrificing a pawn and open up the d file.
So bishop d3 is being played, but then same question. Can I just take the pawn on g4 once again?
Oh, he
Bishop
goes
c6.
bishop c6 and knight e4 by any means.
Insisting. Maybe queen e2, once again stopping knight e4. There we go, queen e2.
So they are playing around the e4 square.
And now I'm starting to like white's position. I mean, if you give me one more tempo h3 short castle, d4.
Well, sorry, but we play one at a time. I know that people are changing rules and kind of game of
These fish
chess,
are random
but,
things. And
but no, this is still the classical. Everybody plays one at a time.
All right, then h3 now. And then I think
actually white did not have such a great position in this whole game so far.
exactly.
Even G5. G5.
I'm not sure I like
knight
this move.
H5. We don't understand much of this game, do we?
Right. Yeah. Strange things are happening. But maybe bishop e3 and my threat is to go knight e5.
Yeah, bishop e3, but then queen will go back eventually to c7, I think. Knight e5. No,
Right.
g6, prophylactical.
G6. And
okay, knight e5 will be on the board.
knight e5 looks very natural. And you know, you have some weaknesses.
Well, I didn't think 5 moves before that this is the kind of position white can reach.
This is a dream for someone in Kof compared to what he had previously.
Absolutely.
Somehow I like this move b4 at some point.
Knight c7.
Knight c7. Are we going to castle at some point or not? h4. No castling.
a6.
a6. He wants to bring some pieces to b5.
Bishop
Maybe even
b5
the bishop.
or?
Bishop b5. Looks natural to trade this guy. This guy is doing nothing here on c6.
Yeah, but you know what white is going to play? Queen d2 and bishop e2 at some point.
Queen d2, bishop e2, putting pressure after knight g7, h5 coming. The attack is super serious, super dangerous for black. And f6 is always hard to play because after the trade on f6, positionally, you're, you know, kind of...
Well, this looks pretty interesting for white. Castle. Maybe he wants to go f4, f5 at some point. Well, not now because knight g3.
Knight b5. I like this move. So if knight a4 attacking the queen has to go back probably to c7. Yeah.
Queen c7.
And I cannot go f4 because of knight g3. So there's no pressure against e5. Sorry, I thought some minor piece was attacking the knight on e5.
No, but now knight d4 is as far.
Takes on c6. Once again, this could be a threat because the knight is hanging, so bishop b5.
But now white can have a very big trouble. After knight g7, knight f5. No, this couldn't be. That you exchange your knight from e5 to a c6 bishop like that? No.
Yes.
Sorry.
This has not been the
way to play. But he has 24 seconds.
Yeah, he's in real trouble right now. Knight g7, knight f5. Rook a8. He wants to trap the knight by playing rook a5.
So, knight g7, time for that. No, he wants to...
Beautiful. I like this move.
c3, bishop e7. Well, black has a fantastic position.
Look at this knight on b5.
b3, c4 is possible to save it.
Maybe the only way to proceed. That's right. And then he found it.
But okay, now he has to move the rook. So rook a2.
Rook a2. Active pieces. Queen f3. Ah, no, the knight is hanging. So
no, queen d3 is the only move.
Exactly. c4 takes. And queen e4. Wow, problems. Beautiful.
Oh.
And this is going to be over, I believe, after this pawn falls. This king is in real danger.
8 seconds. Okay, game is over. One pawn is off. 5 seconds for white.
Knight g3, what's going on here? Queen f2, queen h1 mate. So knight g3 wins, right? That's it.
White is fighting. Youngsters never give up. Rook a3.
Yeah, looks natural. A lot of
Bishop
pressure on the
f2.
third rank.
Queen h5.
This is going to be a 2-0 for Satwani, who will only need a draw in the third game.
He has to show some good technique actually. If they end up bishop rook a3, bishop f2, queen h5. But it can easily be 2-0 exactly.
Bishop f2. I guess after the queen trade, I exchange another rook on a1. Oh, queen b7. And this is just over, yeah?
Well, takes on f4.
Takes on f4. You can take on g5 as well if you want, protecting the bishop or bringing the bishop.
Probably rook c3 is also not a bad choice.
Yeah, rook c3, queen a8, king g7.
Bishop d6 is also not a very bad choice.
Yeah. This is a disaster.
Rook a1.
Rook a1. Makes a lot of sense. Background problems as well. Any troubles here? 10 seconds only for Samunenkov. Probably time to resign. Bishop g1. Oh, and now a free rook and the end of the game.
2-0.
2-0.
Well, it was quite a shaky game, I must say. In the opening, it was a very brave choice for white. Black had a nice position. Then he somehow, I think he misplayed it by playing very slow.
I think he didn't see like he couldn't bring the knight to e4, like bishop d3, queen e2, and I think white is already in good shape here. Sorry, I did something crazy here. Yeah, I think at this point, maybe h3. I really like h3 here, just to, you know, make my position stable, then go short castle b4.
Well, this makes a lot of sense, but even later,
even g5, yeah.
I think here he could, first of all, castle was not a must. I think it was possible to play something like queen d2 and knight e2, knight g3, or with bishop e2 idea.
Right.
I mean, the knight on c7, I understand that it goes to b5, but
then,
so what?
You can go knight e2 even.
Or bishop e2.
Yes, I really like this move. The attack looks super dangerous now.
I mean, knight c3, queen c3.
Yeah, nothing happens.
I mean, later on, it would be possible, even here, if not bishop e2, but here to go knight takes c6, for example. Instead
Here,
of bishop.
you mean?
Yeah, here. Then knight b5.
Right. And then you play even c3, queen
and
e2.
queen e2 next and win the pawn.
That's right. Yeah, there were many ways, but definitely knight c6 followed by, what did he play? Castle, knight a4, and then he took everything and took.
No, I don't like knight a4. I think knight a4 is already the wrong way.
Yeah, I was thinking about, well, what do we play here then?
Well, can't white go knight d1?
Yeah, I was thinking about some moves like this.
Sorry.
Knight a3. That was my first intention, but
no, but in the previous move, instead of castle, queen d2. Queen
yes,
d2 is a must.
This is definitely a very strong
and
move.
also that after knight b5, we talked about knight c6, but also no, here I think things started to go wrong for no knight c6 for sure. I would not do. You don't give up this knight for such a pawn, which is a bishop. Visually, it's a bishop, but actually, it's a pawn.
It's a fat pawn, yeah.
No, it's not possible. I'm sorry. Can't. I don't know. Maybe a4. What do you do on a4?
a4. I can't. I can't take this guy, right? I guess.
Well, I thought you cannot, but because of Queen G4.
G4, Bishop C5.
B4.
And B4. That's right. Yeah. So then, yes. Then if you cannot take the pawn on D4, then white is fine, yeah? Knight C3, B3.
Well, you take Queen A5.
Queen A5, then you go after my pawns.
But okay, I would go Bishop D2 or Queen D2. No, maybe I go Queen D2 after all, because I want to have the Bishop E2 option.
I really like your idea of going Bishop E2 and then create troubles around there.
No, you don't take on C6, please. You don't take on C6, only if I win at least one pawn immediately, at least.
Right.
I'm not sure if one pawn is enough for me, but let's see if they started already, because
they should be.
We may have only one game left, not necessarily two.
Yeah, now Satwani with the white pieces and only needs a draw, so that means Samonenkov has to risk in this game. Cannot play solid. He needs a win.
Well, it's not that he was playing too solid up to this point either.
Right.
But now finally he has to go out double or nothing.
Right. So guys, remember we are here. You want to ask Judith some questions? She's happy. I guess she's happy to answer. Of course she is. And we are reading the Chess24 chat and also the YouTube chat. And I'll open the Twitch chat as well. So you guys, if you guys are there. Yes. Well, we have 900 people on Twitch.
Wow, welcome, all of you.
Sorry, guys, I was not paying attention. Oh, no. This is the Fisher Random. Sorry, guys. We are only in YouTube and Chess24 site.
Okay. Still, well, it very much seems so for the moment that there is a very good chance to see a final between two talented Indian players. But we should never give up on youngsters like Ihor Samonenkov. He's just 13. He had a bad start in this match. He's losing 0-2 for the moment against the favorite of Sadhwani from India. And let's see if he can turn back this match, because it will be exciting whether can he come up with all the resource he has, good ideas, good decisions in a fast mode.
What was your rating at when you were 13 years old, Judith? I know it was different, right, at that time, but I'm curious.
I had 25-55.
Not so bad. We
Okay,
have the
so
game started.
Not a Sveshnikov.
Strosolimo, solid.
Yeah.
6.
Okay, let's see what comes out of this. Bishop G7.
G7. Some point you might consider taking on C6 to ruin the structure, but no, E5 straight away. Now I guess Knight G4 is the move.
And then you have to take on C6, right?
Yes, exactly, because you have 3 pieces attacking the E5 pawn, so you have to take on C6 and then protect the E5 pawn probably with Queen E2 or Rook E1. There we go. And you have 2 choices. He took with the D pawn and Rook E1.
Very solid game for white.
Short castle. These knights always come into 8-6, and then probably you can bring it to F5, looking for the F5 square, sorry, for the D4 square.
Well, let's see how black will be able to create some chances. It's not easy in this kind of position.
You're gonna be careful, because now Queen D2 is a threat, followed by H3.
Knight H6 is a must.
Yeah, he goes for Knight H6. And Knight F5 is coming, I believe. or f6. Is
Well,
the other.
otherwise sometimes g4 is possible to stop black to go to f5.
Right.
But of course, knight f5 is on the board.
Knight f5, queen d2.
I usually don't like this structure for black, you know. It's not so easy to play it.
Yeah, b3. Important move, stopping c4 ideas. The bishop on a6 looks clumsy a little bit. Now
Yeah.
g4, well, g4, knight d4 all the time, so.
I think knight e2 now.
Knight e2, and now g4 is a threat, right?
Yeah. Rook
Wow, knight
e4
e2.
also makes sense.
Rook e4. Wow, I really like this knight e2 move. I think it goes for knight e4. Makes sense
Goes
as well.
for the more energetic way. Eventually g4, bishop h6, knight g5.
Wow.
He wants 3-0.
Wow, bishop h6. But can I take this pawn on e5, Judith, if you go bishop h6?
You can, I think.
Without losing, I mean.
I didn't say he will manage all this idea. I just said that he wants that idea.
Queen e3 doesn't go for bishop h6. Probably bishop e5 was working.
Not yet. Though knight c5 sometimes works in those kind of situations.
I also like bringing the queen to h4. I don't know why, but...
Nice idea. Queen g3, queen h4.
Queen b7. What's the queen?
Queen b7?
Doing on b7. I don't know. Well, he wants to bring the rook to the h8. Maybe f4, f5. Attacking like crazy. Also, the bishop can come to h4 at some point.
Somehow I lost the thread a bit with those colors.
Queen f3. What is this move for?
Knight g5.
Knight g5. Putting pressure against f7. Well, you force f6, e6, or you're extremely happy with the white pieces because you have gained this extremely weak square on f6.
But now, for example, even e6 is possible, but I think knight g5. No, rook e3. He wants to double on the e5, which makes actually a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And eventually e6.
I like this idea, bringing the last piece into the action.
I agree.
But now, no knight g5. Queen e6.
But eventually knight f6 will be on the board. Bishop h4 now.
Bishop h4. Knight f6 ideas. You can never take this pawn on e5, I guess, with all these rooks along the e file. Queen g2, f4 is coming. f4 and then go back and then threaten f5.
Yeah, it's very difficult for black because look at the bishop. It just doing what on a6, right? You can do nothing on d3. You cannot push c4. So eventually maybe you will have to go back to c8 for controlling some important squares on that diagonal. For example, after queen d5 to go back.
Right. So f4.
e6 was interesting. e6 was interesting.
And now after h4? e6 with white pieces, yeah?
Yeah. Because after e6, if you cannot take with the queen because knight c5, and otherwise c4 was a threat.
Wow, c4, yes.
But okay, this is also kind of logical because I don't know how black stops f5 and bishop h4 and...
I guess bishop c8, right?
Bishop
Here
h4.
Oof. Bishop h4, putting
White
pressure
has
against e7.
2 minutes of advantage. Bishop h4.
h4 looks very unpleasant. How do you protect the e7 pawn?
Ooh.
Looks terrible already for black. Looks like the end of the match. Rook e8 still fighting here.
Very challenging for sure. f5. Can't white go
Queen
f5?
f3.
No, he's too Too safe.
He's preparing it. F5 looked at this extremely interesting. Whenever the G file is opened, the queen is doing a great job on G2. Queen D7. Oof.
Well, please, eventually one day play E6. But maybe he is going to go rook F1 and F5 or...
Actually, the rook was trapped on D4. Could I go? Ah, yeah. Queen F3 was threatening C3.
C3.
He's going after the material. Yeah, so
Oh.
C3, C4. Now giving some fresh air for the rook. The rook has to go back.
Knight G3. Bishop G3 and F5.
There's so much pressure here.
Actually, White is playing, Sadvani plays nicely. How he's grinding up. Rook F1.
Rook F1.
King H2.
F5.
F5.
Maybe Black wants to play F5.
Well, he doesn't want to, but maybe he has to.
Maybe you gotta do it. No, Queen D4 check, just King H1 or King H2 or King G2, and then same problems.
Bishop. No. I thought about Bishop E6, but it's even with the tempo to play F5.
Yeah, F5. But can I go F5? I mean, if it's my turn, because the E5 pawn is hanging.
King H8.
So the question is it possible to go F5 right now or not?
And if Bishop E5?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So maybe Knight D2 in order to go F5 here. And I can also jump to C4. Suddenly B6 could be weak.
Well, that's an unexpected turn that you don't want to play F5, but...
D5. I like a knight on C4.
Well, that will be a promising one.
So
no B5.
Oh, rook G8.
Bishop H4 is about time. Or Knight D2 as you wanted already for some time.
C3.
Yeah, it's not so easy to continue with White because, I mean, of course, F5 wants to be done, right?
Right.
But you have to find a form of it.
Without losing the pawn on E5. And Black is getting ready for F5 with the rook G8 once the G file is opened. Knight C3.
So now Queen D4 or Queen E6?
I like Queen D4. The endgame shouldn't be that bad for Black.
Yeah, because after Queen E6, Rook F1 and F5 is really unstoppable.
Ooh, Queen D7. Can I go E6 here?
It's very tempting, I believe, but Rook F1 and F5 is at least as tempting.
So I guess at some point you have to go Queen D4.
Yeah.
And I don't know, without the queens, I think it's a better version for Black. Rook F8, what is this? Now F5. There we go.
Well, it looks like a storage on the king's side for Black.
Yeah, F6 is a threat, winning the game. I know, well, careful, there's the H3 pawn.
No, but now Knight E4 is a threat.
King H7, Knight E4. Oof.
Queen F4 also very powerful.
Rook E4.
Wants to go Rook H4.
Rook H4 now looks very nice.
Rook G5.
Rook G5 and then double rooks.
Bishop F4 or something.
Bishop F4, yeah.
Does not look good for black.
No, and only 18 seconds for the Ukrainian. Queen f4 coming, winning the game in the spot. Rook g5, only move. Also, knight e4 is not a bad move either.
And
rook f5, sorry.
Rook f5. But rook f5, queen e3. Bishop g7. No, queen e3 immediately.
Queen e3 immediately.
This is the sharp. This is the sharp thing.
Yeah, knight e4 is the threat now, and I believe you have to resign basically after knight e4.
And Sadvani is happy. He thinks it's over.
Queen h6, mate. In one move, and there we go, 3-0 for the Indian.
Well, this was an easier match, as it seemed like from the games, than the previous one. The previous one between Esipenko and Pranav, it was very tough in 4 games. And this one, somehow, it was not the day of the young Ukrainian for Samunenko, but he's just 13, so he's going to have plenty of opportunities to show his talent. But this day was not for him, it seems. But congratulations to Sadvani, who entered to the finals, which is going to be tomorrow between the 2 Indian talents. But let's see if we are going to have him to say a few words how he felt about this match.
Exactly. So it would be nice to talk to him for some minutes.
Basically, in the first game, it was there were some decisive mistakes, which was unnecessary. And this also shows that, of course, when we see talents of a very young age, like age 13, like Ihor, you make mistakes, you can't come over on those mistakes, you bring it to the next game, you're upset with yourself. So this also means a lot, how you can recover from a losing game.
Right.
Because,
I think we have Raunak Sadvani here already in the Zoom call. Can you hear us? Can we see you, Raunak? Are you there?
Yes.
Hello. First of all, congratulations.
Hi, thank you.
So how did you feel during the match?
I was pretty confident. Like, okay, first of all, it was a bit early for me to play, but I somehow managed.
You said a bit early.
Yeah, I'm in US right now. So
I see. Are you playing there some tournament or?
Yeah, I'm playing the Fall Classic from 2nd.
In St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And how are you doing in the tournament?
It's yet to start. It starts from 2nd November.
I see. Okay, cool. So, well, how did you see the match? Like, what do you think it was the key moment of the match, or?
Yeah, I think the first game I actually showed a bad technique after some point.
How did you think about this at this point when there was the blunder from Samunenko?
Yeah,
how do you evaluate the position?
That even if he doesn't play f5, White can just keep pressing on, and in blades it's really difficult to hold.
It is difficult to hold?
Yeah, I thought because it's like passive, and these a6, b7, c6 pawns are permanent weaknesses.
So what was your plan, let's say, if black starts playing, I don't know, rook e8, let's say?
Yeah, I had some idea to go king f2, rook e2, defend the b2 pawn and try to get the knight to c5.
Very nice.
Or make him play b6 and then I try to attack the a6 pawn somehow.
Right, after b6, you had also this nice idea of going bishop a2 and b3 at some point, right?
Yeah, yeah. Also, I can take on c4, play b3, and have some more weaknesses to attack.
And if black does not go knight b6, knight c4, you also thought that you have a great position? Just if we go back few moves, like in this position, black wanted to go without, he wanted to go g5 or something. That was the plan. But let's say knight b, he doesn't go knight b6, but just waiting.
Yeah, like in general,
knight b5, let's say. keeping the knight on b5.
Yeah, in general, I was happy from what I got from the opening because my plan was to try and play some positional and long game because I thought my opponent is good in tactics, so I just wanted to play some normal chess.
That was the plan for the match. That's why this line against the Corocan, the Rosolimo versus the Sicilian, right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Very solid.
So that was your strategy on the young talent, that you wanted to be somehow very solid yourself.
Yeah.
So how you're going into the finals, having an Indian matchup here right now? How much do you know Pranav as a player?
I know him since I was like playing nationals and I was 8 years old. I've been playing him, so I know him pretty well. He's a tricky opponent. He finds tricks very quickly, so I'll try to avoid them.
So did you have a lot of games with him previously?
Yeah, quite a lot of games online, offline.
What is the balance, more or less?
Last time we played, I think in Global Championship qualifiers, there I won and qualified. But he wins sometimes I win.
So what are your next events, Sadhwani, after the Fall Classic?
I think I'm going to take a break, maybe World Rapid and Blitz directly. If it happens, I don't know yet.
Do you know where it is actually or not? No idea, right? Okay. But should be in December, right?
Yeah.
How much do you like the Blitz format, this format of 5-3, compared to Rapid and Classical?
I definitely enjoy Blitz more and I like it more. Maybe I'm stronger in Blitz, that's why I like it more. But yeah, I'd like to play Blitz a lot in general.
Okay. Are you also one of the guys who play Bullet online? Yeah?
A lot. Yesterday I played around 100 to 100 games.
Wow. So can you tell me just, you can give me a little description, what it helps you in tournament chess, or do you think it helps you, or you just do it for fun?
It's more for fun, but also sometimes you develop some reflexes, I feel, which are useful in time travel. So somehow I think helps.
It's just an addiction as well. I think we love playing, right? So
yeah.
You play every day?
No, I played Bullet yesterday after like 2-3 months. So
okay.
Not every day.
Well, congratulations, and well, see you tomorrow on the finals. Have a good preparation, good sleep, good day.
Thank you.
See you then. Congrats.
See you tomorrow and congrats.
See you. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, so this has been everything, I would say. Well, we have had very interesting matches, and tomorrow we have an exciting final, Judit. Esipenko versus Satwani.
Not Esipenko, we have Sadhwani.
Pranav.
Yeah, Pranav against Sadhwani. Very interesting. And I think tomorrow we can talk about this also, whether how different the preparation is for the youngsters nowadays, preparing in Rapid, Blitz, and Bullet.
Right. So that's going to be at the same time or not? Let me just check.
Exactly same time as we started now. Central European time, 6 p.m.
So we will be there. So I guess we're going to wrap up now. It's been a pleasure as usual. And it's been a pleasure, Judith, to be here with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for our audience, and join us tomorrow in the same time for the finals, because I'm sure we're going to see some interesting stuff. And as Sadhwani said, Pranav is tricky. So let's see the tricks of tomorrow. Who can trick each other? Who can be the best?
Right. Okay, guys. Thanks for being there. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Pepe.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Judith.